bij dit vierde webinar van Telerex. Good morning, welcome to the fourth webinar at Telerex. Bonjour, bienvenue au quatrième webinar de Telerex. Aujourd'hui, on vous présente un DWIN Smart Display. Notre collègue Field Application Engineer Ebrahim Ghaderi, il va vous expliquer comment le USP de ce DWIN Smart Display peut vous aider chez vous, dans vos applications et chez vos clients. Goedemorgen. Again, vandaag gaat Ebrahim Ghaderi, onze Field Application Engineer van Telerex, u gedurende ongeveer een half uurtje een uitleg verschaffen over hoe gemakkelijk de DWIN Smart Displays te behandelen en te programmeren zijn en te gebruiken, zodat u uw applicatie, u kan focussen op uw eigen applicatie en dat de rest eigenlijk redelijk simpel te programmeren valt, zodat u zich kan focussen op uw eigen USP's van uw eigen product. Today, Ebrahim Ghaderi will explain to you how the smart displays from DWIN can be used in your application and what the advantages are, so your product becomes very attractive to your customers. Maybe a quick practical few things. First of all, this session is recorded, so if you want to share it with your colleagues in your company, feel free to do so. You will also remark on the right side of your screen there is a Q&A. There is a small little balloon with a question mark inside and it says Q&A at the bottom. During the presentation of Ebrahim, you can there put your questions. I will follow that in the background, and at the end of the half-hour explanation from Ebrahim, we will take these questions one by one in the 15-minute Q&A session. Een paar praktische afspraken. Deze presentatie wordt ook opgenomen, zodat u zelf deze presentatie later nog eens kan terug bekijken of alternatief met een paar van uw collega's in het bedrijf deze presentatie ook nog eens kan delen. Stel dat u vragen hebt tijdens deze presentatie, bovenaan rechts aan uw scherm ziet u een ballonnetje met een vraagteken in en daaronder Q&A. Daar kan u live de vragen stellen. Wij gaan die wel niet live beantwoorden tijdens de presentatie van Ebrahim, maar ik bekijk die wel offline. En op het einde van Ebrahim zijn uitleg, dus na ongeveer een half uurtje, gaan we 15 minuten deze vragen beantwoorden. Deux éléments un peu pratiques, c'est que ce webinaire est enregistré. Ça veut dire que si vous avez envie de le revoir après, c'est toujours possible. Vous auriez un lien vers le recording. En deuxième lieu, si vous voulez peut-être regarder ce webinaire encore avec un ou deux collègues chez vous au bureau, c'est toujours aussi possible. Supposons que vous avez des questions pendant que Ebrahim fait sa présentation. Il n'y a pas de souci, il y a une section à droite en haut dans votre écran avec un petit ballon avec un point d'interrogation marqué Q&A. Là, vous pouvez marquer vos questions. Je les regarderai pendant que Ebrahim est en train de faire sa présentation. Et à la fin, après plus ou moins une petite demi-heure, on va les prendre une par une. Ebrahim, I'm giving the floor to you.
Thank you, Yves, and thank you everybody for joining our webinar. Today, I'll give you a slide instruction of the smart display of DWIN, as Yves already explained, to make your design more attractive. That was a good word I hear from Yves. So I go through my presentation. Probably here and there you hear the DWIN advertisement or on videos on YouTube, whatever. You got some explanations in the Chinese version. Here we are from Telerex with you to give you more insight in this regards for knowing the display, the advantages of using those smart displays of DWIN. So today's agenda will be, of course, we'll talk a little bit about DWIN itself, their products, software that they have, and we prepared a demo case for you, and then afterward we'll go through our questions and the takeaways. So generally, DWIN is known as a smart display producer with their core business very focused on the smart displays in regards like making smart display real meaningful. What means that they have all the tools, take it from the software, the hardware, even in their design, they use their in-house chip called T5L. It's basically 8051 based core. And then they intend to provide this to their customer for a various kind of application like industrial, medical, automation, smart homes, and much more. So they have a kind of policy of vertically integration, like covering from the hardware, firmware, software. So you will have all in one package. So DWIN is not such a small company, not a startup or whatever. It's a kind of huge company with 1,500 employees and 200 engineers, and in a really big area in Zhejiang County in one province in China. So, of course, to make a display, you need a touchscreen and an LCD itself. So they have as their products separately can be sold TFT LCD or touch panels, and then they have their smart displays in two versions. COB means chip on board, and COF means chip on flex. They have also some more compact, complete solutions, Linux and Android based. And they have additionally HDMI and LVDS displays as well. Of course, we do focus today on smart displays. And of course, they have some more customization services if you need a different shape, different processes like the touch panel, optical bounding, LCD type resolution, etc. And you want to have your own pattern, like your logo, any kind of icons you want to do, or the protection level, and of course in different sizes. So, like we already said, they have their own in-house design. It's called T5L. It has two cores. One is running the operation system, and the other side is running the GUI core. So it has other different type of interfaces like 22 IO, so UART, CAN, analog to digital, and PWM. On the other side, you can load your graphical interface with a high resolution and in different varieties of the display resolution. So they have different families from very low cost T5L0 to T5L3, very advanced. And here between they have covering all the customer needs with a price competitive policy. T5L3, sorry, is the very high resolution for IoT, and in regard to communication, etc., they made that more advanced. T5L is L0 is like low cost, but still supporting good resolution for 18-bit RGB interfaces, and there between they have 24-bit RGB interfaces. Basically, the chip is supporting kind of GPIOs that you probably need for some simple application, like controlling some relays, I don't know, maybe CAN user interface you would need on the chip. But basically the chip is meant to be used for a nice graphical user interface, but still the option is there if you want to have all your design based on T5L2. This is also a possibility. But let's just focus on the GUI core of the chip. The chip is supporting 16 megabit flash memory, and all this flash memory size divided to find 256 kilobyte memory spaces, and each of those getting an ID from, of course, 0 to 63. And there you spread your phones, all the necessary items that you need to run the display. And on the other hand, you have your pictures, icons, etc., to be loaded in a different memory space. This is how been mapped here. So from memory space 0 to 22 file is just from the font, and take it to touch and display files and configuration. And afterward, you will have the customizable pictures and images, icons that you want to load to the display. We'll come back to this explanation later on when we go through our a bit inside of the chip design and the programming the chip and run your project on the display. So they have their own software called DGUS. It has, let's say, plenty of options for you. They call it functions. So like touch functions, like bit buttons, all those drag adjustments, different kind of gauges that you can support, like rotational, sliding, page sliding, etc. Just out of the box, you can just put on the software and use it. And then they have a variety of the display functions like icon rotation, data variable, text display, etc., etc. So how you just start with programming these displays, of course, just like all of probably smart displays, you start with defining your logos, your icons, background images, etc. And you will better to have a strategy or a policy or a plan to design your GUI. Then you prepare your images and you put all your images at the software, and then it will generate some files for you based on the structure that you implemented there and the touch functions and display functions that you used. You can load it to a memory card and SD card and load it to the display itself. So basically, with the COF displays, which means chip-on-flex type of displays, you will have only the display with the flex, with the chip is assembled on the flex. The yellow part, you will need to have it to program it to the files generated by DGUS to the display itself. And then with a COP display, which is a chip on board, you don't need this tool. Of course, the other option is more fancy and it will make your design more flexible. There you still can use foreseen an SD interface, SD card interface for your display. It's just because an SPI communication. But here you don't even need this, and with a COP display you just plug in your SD card, loaded, powered up, and then done. Afterward, of course, you need to take out the SD card, and it doesn't need it because all these images and icons will be loaded to the display. So why we propose you DWIN Smart Displays? So first of all, it's all in one solution. You don't need to anything. You don't need to rely any other application software to help you integrate your solution to the display. Of course, it has a really user-friendly DGUS software, which you just can drag and drop objects on your project page, and you play with it. It has even a possibility to simulate the software itself. And it really simplifies your development. You don't need to take care of anything regarding GUI anymore. And of course, many of their displays equipped with a Wi-Fi module, RTC, buzzer, or a speaker. And it's very compact in regarding the design. You just need to have a controller to reach the UART of the display, and that's it. And then it is really scalable GUI design, means that you have generated your project, you still can use the same project but across all other type of their display. So exactly the same project with a little bit of configuration, modification, like regarding this image sizes and icon sizes. All the functionalities will be holding to the project, and you can integrate it to another display type. Take it from a very small size to the really large size. And then, of course, it will minimize your processing load for your GUI, your design. So your CPU or MCU doesn't need to bother anymore with any kind of graphical user interface. You just send the commands to show which page, which icon, whatever, what is being touched on the screen. It's all taken care by the display itself, and you just communicate with the UART. And of course, they have different type of displays, industrial grade even, which is really reliable. It has this type of display with an enclosure that you can just use it in your design, and it comes and equipped with the peripherals and terminal blocks that you use it in the industrial way, and you just connect your let's say even PLC, if you take it from the Modbus RTU type of those displays, or you take it from the CAN version, you can use it for your industrial grade use of your design. And of course, it's very cost-effective solution regarding like you don't need to spend anything more than just preparing the GUI. Everything that the software is for free, and of course displays are really cost-effective in compare with their other competitors. So we're gonna have a quick look at the DGUS tool. And of course, later on, we will present you our Telerex version of demo for DWIN displays. Our demo kit is just made from buttons, a sensor, a LED bar, which is all connected to a module called SerMod.io. This module taking care of this communication or activating, deactivating the relays, digital inputs, digital outputs, reading sensor, etc., and all those information will be interacting with the display itself. So the SerMod.io is still supporting Modbus communication, but is designed or adopted the way that just out of the box can handle the display UART data, which is by your touch on any icons, if you keep the regard to the virtual address of each object. Here I'm just getting a little more complex on my explanation, but I will explain you more what I mean by that. So with our demo kit, you will have the full demo to demonstrate you how easy is the display and how it can handle all those information coming from the display to the I/O, and it will just react to the touch events that you generate on the display. So today we have this UART communication between those two components on our demo. This is the third mode. I/O is actually equipped with 6 isolator relays, 6 inputs, 6 outputs, analog output, and temperature input. That's what the third mode I/O is doing. It's gathering all the data, activating the relays, and then reading the RTC, etc., for the display. And here, what we actually have is just sending the commands from the display to the thermal I/O module in a hex format. And the thermal I/O also can read the data of the pins or the digital inputs towards the display. So to build your application, of course, you need to have a very specific type of fonts, and then you generate your font. You start your project with that, of course, and then you do some configuration for your display, like you want to use the touchpad or you want to use the CRC for the communication. You define your communication protocols. And then some files can be generated for you, or you have orientation of the display can be configured here. And then you make your config file and you generate it to your project. Later, you need to, of course, prepare some icons, some background images, or if you have a video or GIF. Just one thing here to mention, that should be 24-bit color format, any kind of JPEG, BMP or PNG all supported. By the end of the day, we'll just convert all those format to JPEG. So if you respect the memory allocation of the display, you need to look up what the ICL file that you will generate based on your background or icons that you're going to use. And then you need to do an enumeration for the background images, starting from 0, and for the icons can start from 1 and name it. So you will generate your project afterward, and it just generates so much files, and you can load it to your display later on. But here we will just slightly go over how easy it's just to drag and drop some icons to your project. Here you just take your mouse pointer, taking off any of those icons that you need, drag and drop it there. You put some touch to the display project, and then you can even align or arrange your icons that you put on the display. There we talked about the virtual, variable address to keep respect to the sermod IO for specifically for this project. We have icons like called here we mentioned the VP 1002. That means if you generate a code by touching any of those icons, if you load your project to your display, it generates a specific format, like starting with the hex 5A5, and then the length of the string, and then the VP, which is variable address of this specific object. So here we use, for instance, a relay on and off VP. We took it 1002, means it will generate 1002 in hex format, and the sermod IO will respond to that specific variable address, and then activate or deactivate any relay. So here is our touch object that we overlay on each icon that we put on our project. and we do some adjustment for it, and then we will generate the file and load it to the display. We prepared the demo. I'm going to show the video of a demo kit that we have, and then I will be back to you. The video was showing some fancy icons interacting with the Sermon.io as an I/O interface for the display. And thereafter, we will have, if you have any question, of course, but just one thing to mention here is that you see that a short video in a high resolution still can be loaded to the display. And you just need to respect the quantity of your images. You can have extended memory allocation for that by customization. There's not an issue with that. So here I'm with you with your questions, please, if you have any questions.
Yes, Ebrahim. There is one which has popped up, is that you are describing a certain protocol or way of programming. Is it specific to DWIN, or are other protocols supported by the smart display?
Yeah, actually, and mainly the display is supporting UART communication to get your commands, your data to act on it. Means like if you send something to the virtual variable address to change any value or whatever, this done by UART, but you still have the possibility of using other type of protocols like Modbus RTU or CAN. So they have even in industrial grade of the display, they have generally CAN or Modbus communication as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember when talking to one customer, his request was, how many of these icons and of these videos and how many of these elements can you program, and up to what is it then for our final customer? Because you can make them so small that
Yeah.
you can only see when you're at very close. So what's your advice on the amount of icons?
Yeah, exactly. The second matter of enumeration of the icons. So it starts from 0000 to FFFF. So you have plenty of enumeration possibilities for your icons, but you just need to respect the memory allocation. So actually, looking at the probably a few previous slides, we described how the memory allocation is. It's total 16 megabit, 4 mega, uh, let's say 5 megabits held by the display for the configuration, and all the leftover memory allocation is for you to choose whatever kind of icons or images that you want to load. So you have basically 10 megabit space for your videos, icons, or background images, and no matter how many icons you have, and I think reaching out FFF value, it's yeah, tremendously high. So I don't think then that's a concept. None of those projects get so complex to have so many icons anyway. Let's say even it's never going to reach 2,000 icons, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One question I have in mind myself is
No.
from your experience with the customers you are supporting today, with their selection, because it's part of a selection of what kind of display or smart display is the best for my application, and how fast and how easy is it for the engineering team at our customers to start using this?
Yeah.
Can you share your experience from the implementations you have done with some of our customers?
Yeah. Yeah, of course, we had customers like train them in 2 hours. It depends on
Okay.
the people, yeah, how they observe it, on how probably if they have any background. Of course, even non very technical people can play with the display. So it's just a basic understanding of the communication is required, and then playing with the icons and having a good understanding of the variable addresses and pointers. But basically, the display is designed like just by drag and drop icons to your project, and you generate it. It will do everything for you. So I think it's not a complex process to learn. Of course, you need to have something at your hand to try it. That's why we really propose our demo kits to start and to have a hands-on on this solution. But it's fairly easy in comparing with other solutions, to be honest, because we know on the market there are some other brands trying to propose some more complex way, but they come with really advertisement good looking solution. But I believe in this regard, DWIN does everything like a very, let's say, compact and all in one solution in a really meaningful of way of it. So you have the software do everything for you, generate the files, you load it to the display, and just bump, you have everything. I had the experience like building a project. To be honest, my personal experience as after learning all those things working together, I had the projects in like 1 hour ready to use. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's time now to show the offer you have prepared together with your colleagues. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. So of course we had the demo video based on these two objects. These two objects actually we even prepared a project that we can even share for the display side. And the server mode I is interacting with these commands that's coming from the display and activate, deactivate relays just out of the box. Either maybe you want to have an PLC interacting, the server mode IO responding to your PLC Modbus communication as well. So it's come with a special offer of 210 euros. I think it's just worth it to just have it at your desk and play with it a little bit. It's quite fancy stuff, to be honest. Regarding that, you will have an easy communication with the sensors, RTC, everything what a developer needs. It's all foreseen on the Sermod IO, and of course, display makes it very look fancy.
Okay, I understood from the discussions we had previously, Ebrahim, that if our customers are interested in a special offer demo kit, you will hand carry them personally to them to their office.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah, I can do that as well. It will be a nice meeting as well to train them, maybe to explain them a little bit as well. No, I'm really pleased to do that.
Okay, fine. I want to thank you, Ebrahim, for your comprehensive overview of the possibilities of programming and the introduction to the DWIN Smart Display.
Thank you too.
Again, voor onze luisteraars, dank u wel voor voor uw aandacht. Bedankt voor de aanmelding. Spread the word, zou ik zeggen. U hebt waarschijnlijk ook nog collega's of vrienden, collega's bij andere bedrijven. Wij draaien deze webinars gemiddeld 1 keer per maand. Altijd een technisch onderwerp, altijd iets interessant, kort en krachtig, een half uurtje. Het wordt altijd opgenomen, u kan altijd online vragen stellen. En onze teams, zowel in België als in Nederland, staan altijd paraat om u te helpen. Ik dank u voor uw aandacht en nog een prettige werkdag. Dag.